Katie Morag by Mary Hedderwick. The Baking Day Secret. Friday is a baking day on the Isle of Struy. That is the day Katie Morag likes to go visiting in the village. I wonder why. Take Liam, says Mrs. McCall one particular Friday. But Katie Morag thought that was a very bad idea. I'll keep the bowls for you to lick, her mother promised. Mrs. McCall was not a good baker. Licking the bowls was often the best bit of her baking. Annoyed, Katie Morag pushed Liam towards the first house in the village. He'll know my secret now and always want to come, she frowned. The ferryman's wife made quite the most fabby-do chocolate cakes. Come try my new recipe, Katie Morag, she asked and smiled as Liam and Katie Morag appeared at the door. Oh no, fibbed Katie Morag. We've just come to say hello. Say hello, Liam. That's strange, thought the ferryman's wife to herself. Katie Morag always sat down and enjoyed her Friday visits. Here's a couple of pieces then, so take them home since you won't have them now, she said in surprise, as she put 2 large slices of cake in a bag. Liam licked his lips. Thank you very much, said Katie Morag. Want eat, said Liam hopefully when they got outside. Certainly not. Katie Morag was firm. Liam must not find out about the baking day secret. Neely Beag and Granny Mainland were in the next house. What meringues Neely could bake. Mounds of white, shiny spirals sat drying by the stove. The cream for the in-between was whipped up stiff. Test the best yet, Katie Morag, he beamed. Oh no, said Katie Morag. We've just come to say hello. Katie Morag's mouth was watering. That's very odd, thought Neely. Well, you can take some for later, can't you, he suggested, fetching out a bag. Maybe it was not so bad Liam coming along, thought Katie Morag. She had never been given bags of baking before. By the time Katie Morag reached the last house in the village, Liam had had time to give up his seat in the bogie. The nurse had just finished making syrupy sweet porridges. Perfect timing. Have a bite, nurse offered a tray. Of course, when Katie Morag refused as usual, nurse filled yet another bag, and Liam was waiting eagerly to take it. Want eat now, demanded Liam as they headed down homewards. The bogie laden with cake and meringues and doughnuts and shortbread and porridges. No, said Katie Morag angrily. She was wondering where she could hide all the bags without Liam seeing. When the two of them got back home, Katie Morag hid the bogie round the corner of the house. The kitchen of the shop and the post office was in a terrible mess. Pots and jugs, spoons and bowls were all over the place. Burnt biscuits and buns, soggy sponges, leather-hard pancakes were scattered on the table. Mrs. McCall was in tears by the sink. The baby was covered in flour. The new teacher and his wife are coming to tea, wailed Mrs. McCall in despair. What am I going to give them to eat? Katie Morag and Liam looked at each other reluctantly. Suddenly, we've got lots of baking for a scrumptious tea, said Katie Morag. How kind of the villagers, sniffed Mrs. McCall. Maybe they'll teach me how to bake one day. It did not take long to tidy everything up. The tea party with the new teacher and his wife was a great success. Katie Morag and Liam were very polite and only ate what they were offered. They were so happy to see Mrs. McCall happy again. What wonderful bakers you islanders are, praised the new teacher. Well, I have a lot to learn, replied Mrs. McCall graciously. She was being very honest, don't you think? You are my very best friends, said Mrs. McCall after the visitors had gone. I think you deserve a special treat. Off to bed, the two of you. Katie Morag and Liam looked bewildered. This wasn't a treat. But it was. 1 bag of baking had been missed in the rush to tidy the kitchen. It was nurse's super syrupy sweet porridges. Mrs. McCall had said they could have them for a midnight feast if they promised to brush their teeth after. They promised. Katie Morag and Liam never went to bed quicker than on the night of the baking day secret. Once all the house was quiet, the stars peeping in the window, they began their feast by torchlight. They left some over for the next day. They had to. They were so full.